By now, we are aware of the differences between elements, compounds, and mixtures. Do you remember the differences? Mixtures are like food items that we consume. They contain everything in proportion that we desire. We get add or remove the substance according to our need. Compounds, on the other hand, are those which have substances in fixed proportions. If you change the proportion of substances, it will affect the compound and change. For instance, if you remove even one hydrogen from H2O, that is water, the composition changes and water as a compound does not exist. This fixed proportion is must in compound. Lastly, we have the elements. These are the purest form of any known substances. They are composed of only the same type of atoms. There are neither proportions nor random mixing of substances. So, can we say that compounds and mixtures are made up of elements? Absolutely. So in nature, it implies that elements are basic form of every material that we find around, and hence in order to study every substance around us, we need to begin with studying the various elements. So where to begin? Maybe the reactivity, or maybe the physical properties first. Right. I am asking if we can study the reactivity and physical properties of each of the elements. Is that feasible? Well, all these would have been valid only if the elements would be few in numbers. Do you know the number of elements that exists? Amazingly, the number of elements that we find naturally occurring is 98, while the total number of elements known to mankind is 118. So, how do we study each element individually for all its properties? Looking at the number of elements that exist, I don't think it would be convenient to pick every element individually and study all the properties, right? Imagine you have to organize the kitchen. You will not place any utensils or eatable things randomly anywhere. You will organize the shelves and refrigerator in the most convenient way, just suitable for your needs. Similarly, for studying so many elements, we need to organize them appropriately. And organization begins with arrangements. Yes, arranging the various elements is the first step towards the understanding the properties. And arrangement is possible only if we categorize them. Right. This is how we will organize the elements, and this process of categorization help us study the various elements with ease. In other words, we classified the elements here. Classification of elements is categorizing elements into groups based on similarities and differences in their properties. The classification system help us in grouping the various elements into category, which we refer to as the periods. Hence, the system is also referred to as the periodic classification of elements. Let's get to know how periodic classification was carried out in the early days of emerging chemistry, when not many elements were known to be. In the upcoming videos, we will understand the various classification systems put forth by the different legendary personalities. Doberiner, Newland and Mendeleevs. Thanks for watching the video.